Welcome. It is a joy to be with you. If you are enjoying this content, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps light travel. Today, we are meditating on divine security. And so divine security is the answer to the human experience of anxiety. And so I just want to name very honestly, with a great deal of compassion, that recently, over the last couple of weeks, I've heard very honest young people name their experience of anxiety and name their awareness that they have chosen to become aware of their own thought patterns in order to connect with this feeling of quiet and security within themselves. And so I can share a couple of those stories a little bit later. I would also like to share a teaching from Swami Nityananda. He says, a peaceful, pure heart is stability, security, well-being. And so anytime that human feeling of anxiety or worry or dread arises, come back to that peaceful, pure heart. And so again, a peaceful, pure heart is stability, security, and well-being. And we're inviting ourselves directly to cultivate within ourselves a peaceful, pure heart, and that energy and direct lived realization of stability, security, and well-being within ourselves. So I have a couple of teachings from the Upanishads, which I will gladly share. I also want to share a couple of stories which crossed my path these last couple of weeks. So the first two stories come from university students, and it was not this last week, but the one before that. One student shared one story, another student shared another story. So the first student shared a story which I had completely forgotten until I was lying down to sleep last night, and I burst out laughing because I remembered the story. So I'm sharing it for your delight and laughter, and it'll connect with the second story, which you'll see in just a second. So a student shared that she had been teaching and tutoring fifth grade students. So she was in this homework space, after school space, and the students can come, they can work on their homework, they can play games, they can talk, whatever it is that they want to do. And she said, rather than working on their homework in this particular moment, they were discussing very enthusiastically amongst themselves an important question, which I'm about to share with you. Would you rather be chased by 100 pigeons or 20 ducks? Okay, so I'm going to let you think about that for a second. Anyone for 100 pigeons? Anyone for 20 ducks? Okay, so I see more people wanting to be chased by 20 ducks than by 100 pigeons. Sorry, it makes me laugh so much. I kept bursting into laughter. I couldn't help. I was like, oh my God, I hope my neighbors are not listening to me because I am hooting with laughter. So, and another student, when that story came up in class, another student said, oh, based on that pigeon I had an encounter with, I would not choose the pigeons. So apparently pigeons are to be treated with respect. And perhaps ducks also are to be treated with respect. So hold on to that thought for just a second, and I'm about to share the second story. And so this is a very courageous, honest young person who shared a story. And she was speaking in front of the class, and she said she realized that her own negative thoughts had been creating her experience of reality. And she said, I realized I had to change myself and my thoughts. And then my experience of reality changed. And she stood up in front of the class and said that. And it was just this moment of awareness and self-recognition that I am the one who can change my energy. Changing my thoughts will change my feelings. It will change my energy. And she said, when I realized that, I started enjoying my life. I started enjoying the people around me. Nothing changed. She was still living in the same apartment. She was still living in the same city. She was still interacting with the same people. Her experience changed. So she started enjoying her life, and she started enjoying the people around her. She started enjoying herself. And so that's the crux of the yogic teachings. The Bhagavad Gita actually says to each one of us, it's only if we discover the subjective source of happiness that we are able to live in liberation in time and space. So what that is saying is the source of happiness is right here. It is within me. Swami Nityananda said, not one other human has ever created my experiences. Wow. And that's the same recognition that was articulated in her own words by that amazing student who said, I realized I had to change my thinking. Okay, so let's connect the two stories now. I'm inviting you to become aware of a thought pattern that has not been giving you joy over the last week. Just any thought pattern. That's being chased by 100 pigeons. Right there. Right there. And so anytime you notice, oh, I'm in that loop. I'm thinking those recursive thoughts or those intrusive thoughts or those things that are not what I would like to create and energize. Ask yourself, 100 pigeons, 20 ducks. Because that is what we are choosing. If we are chasing ourselves, we're actually chasing ourselves with the 100 pigeons or with the 20 ducks. And we're energizing that, we're holding that in our energy field. And so we are doing what that student was talking about. We are creating that to which we are giving our attention. So Swami Nityananda said, what you give your attention to, it will give its attention to you. So be very, very, very aware on what am I focusing and what would I dearly love to create. So another story about joy and wonder and adoring. And then I'll share a couple of teachings from the Upanishads. And this is another true story. This one crossed my path this last week. So the Bhagavad Gita, again, I'll just remind us, it says, when we are in contact with the energy of joy and wonder and adoring, we will see the divine everywhere that we are. This is a story about a Muslim woman who was grocery shopping, and she was wearing a full hijab. And so only her eyes were showing. She was moving through the grocery store, and she noticed there was this little boy, could not have been more than 4 years old, who was just staring at her. The whole way through the grocery store, he could not take his eyes off of her. And she ignored him. She was kind of used to being stared at while she was walking through the grocery store. And so she ignored him, and he continued to be sort of like mesmerizingly gazing upon her until she got up to the checkout counter, and the boy was in line immediately behind her. The boy was with his mother, and the boy whispered to her, "I love you, Batman." So I need to stop laughing before I start talking about the Bhagavad Gita. Joy, wonder, and adoring. So that was his 4-year-old way of seeing the divine everywhere. He was being joy, wonder, and adoring in action, expressing appropriately for his 4-year-old self. And that was his framework. Like, that was his way of saying, this is awesome. I am seeing in daily life at the supermarket something that is awesome, like something that is beyond the ordinary, something that is materializing in daily life that is joy, wonder, and adoring. I love you, Batman. And so this is for each of us. One of the teachings in the Bhagavad Gita is that the self, the divine, is present at all states of unfoldment. The divine is there in that 4-year-old boy. And the divine is expressing love and joy and wonder as only that 4-year-old boy was able to express joy and love and wonder. And so for each of us, it's a reminder when I'm moving through the supermarket, when I'm moving through all of my interactions and encounters in daily life, am I greeting with joy, wonder, and adoring the divine everywhere that I am? And so that's also a beautiful example of he was meeting something that was outside his frame of reference. The way I think we would say this colloquially, he was going beyond his comfort zone. He was going beyond the known. He was going beyond the familiar. And he met it with openness. He met it with curiosity. He met it with joy. He met it with wonder. He met it with adoring. And this is what each of us are invited to do. And the scriptures and the teachings are very clear. It is when we are able to do this that no matter what our experiences are in daily life, we're in contact with that inner peace, that inner security, that inner stability. It is the remedy for all human fear and worry and anxiety, to meet everything with joy, wonder, and adoring. And so let me just share a couple of teachings from the Upanishads. And the Upanishads are these incredible teachings of direct realization of light, direct realization of reality, that which is unchanging. And the teachings also make it very clear, light and that which is unchanging is present within each of us. And the teachings are inviting us to connect with that realization directly within ourselves. Let me guide you to the inner realization, O serene and contemplative friend. And so just notice that the scripture is reaching out, it's embracing you, it's saying, oh, you are my serene friend, you are my contemplative friend. I'm connecting with serenity within you. I'm connecting with that awareness, that contemplative kindness within you. As birds resort to a tree for a resting place, even so, all the energies of perception and cognition become completely established on the self when mind enters into pure consciousness. And so let's work with that image a little. The teaching is inviting us to be a bird resting in a tree, allowing ourselves to be held by the support of that tree. And it's saying that each of us has the ability to do this, to take our energy of awareness, to take our sensory perceptions, to take our cognition, our thinking perceptions, and allow them to rest quietly, with serenity, the way that a bird is able to rest in a tree. And you can actually feel what happens if you invite your mind, invite your brain and your nervous system to rest inwardly. You can, if you like, invite it to rest in your heart quietly, the way that a bird nests in a tree. And you can just feel the way that a bird rests in a tree. There is aliveness in the quiet. There is security. There is support. There is wholeness. Resting inwardly, as if we are a bird resting in a tree. The Upanishads say this makes it possible for each of us to let go of self-limitation. And so I'm just inviting us to allow that to happen. Each of us is silently giving permission, as I rest quietly inwardly, the way a bird rests in a tree. I give permission for self-limitation to melt into self-understanding and self-expansion. And notice what that feels like. You can keep your eyes closed if you like. I'm opening mine to see what else the Upanishad says. It says, as we do this, resting inwardly the way a bird rests in a tree, we also let go of self-impurity. This would be, I give permission for any self-impurity within me to melt into pure love and pure light. And then just allow the process to unfold. Any self-impurity simply transforms. Pure love and pure light touch and integrate and welcome and transform so that there is only pure love and only pure light. The Upanishads also say that as we rest inwardly, as if we are a bird resting in a tree, we let go of selfishness. And so this would be I give permission silently for any energy of selfishness within me to melt into awareness and generosity. I let go of any sense of self-separateness. As I let go of self-separateness, I connect directly with the energy of abundance. The Upanishad goes on to say, as we let go of self-limitation, self-impurity, and selfishness, we rise into universality, harmony, and pure love. And so this is back again to that energy of I greet the divine with joy, wonder, and adoring. I'm giving myself permission everywhere, always, to see universality, harmony, and pure love. And I'm giving myself permission to be everywhere, always, universality, harmony, and pure love. In another verse from the Upanishads, the divine I am, says this: I am not limited by earth, water, fire, air, and space. Realizing the true nature of the Supreme Self, dwelling within the sacred nature of the heart, pure, without a second, the witness of all, free from the duality of existence and non-existence, the devotee becomes pure and perfect. And so here we're invited to remain in the heart. This is another way of putting in language that same invitation to see the joy, the wonder, the adoring, to love and see the divine everywhere, always, and to be a peaceful, pure heart and feel directly within ourselves that stability, that security, that well-being. We who love the truth, who love the light, as we practice this, become transformed into the energy of purity and into the energy of perfection. And so now I have a couple of sharings from Swami Shankarananda. He says, through the power of pure love, I flourish in all circumstances and conditions forever and ever. And so when we connect with the source of pure love within ourselves, we're also connecting with the energy of flourishing, no matter what is going on in time and space, no matter what it seems to be that our human experiences are gifting us with the opportunity to love and transform. Always the source of pure love, the energy of pure love is right here. And that it is which allows us to flourish in all circumstances and conditions forever and ever. When we have this realization, Swami Shankarananda goes on to say, we realize that everything is filled with God. Every space is full of God's presence and abundance. Naturally, what happens is worry goes away. And so see if you can, the space that you're in, the space that we're in right now, I give myself permission to feel God's presence and energy in this space. I give myself permission to feel in this body, in this heart, in this mind, in this life, God's energy and presence. I give myself permission to feel divine abundance in this space where I am. Notice that worry melts away. And then the next thing he says is circulate generosity and energy of love, joy, and peace. And so for each of us, we are inviting ourselves to connect with that circulation of generosity, with pure love, with light, with kindness, with joy, with peace. And notice what else happens as we allow the energy of light and joy and kindness and purity and peace to pour forth through us. What are you already feeling? You're feeling it already. And then you're moving in that feeling, in that energy of light and joy and generosity and kindness and peace. That is what will be in your energy field. So anyone who comes into your presence, who comes into contact with you, is directly feeling radiance and kindness, this energy of light and joy and love and peace. Dhruv alluded to this last week. He shared a story where he was in a space with noise and with other humans, and he was distracted for a while by the noise, and then he became in contact with the quiet and the peace and the beauty that was deeper than the noise. And his phrasing was, suddenly everyone became friendly. Same room, same space, same outer noise. But when we are in contact with that underlying quiet and that underlying beauty and that underlying peace, thank God, suddenly everyone becomes friendly. So this comes full circle, back around to, I am the one who can change my thinking. I am the one who can connect myself with the source of happiness within myself. Not one single other human has ever created my experiences. And as soon as I recognize that, I have the absolute joy, the absolute liberation, the absolute excitement, the absolute gladness and wonder of being in contact with the source of stability and security and peace and well-being and creativity and ingenuity and gladness and abundance, always, no matter what it is that we are feeling or seeing or observing in time and space, we are connected with that. I want to share an image. I'm almost done speaking, but I want to share an image. I hope this doesn't come as a complete surprise to you. You're not really only a limited human. You're not really only in a limited body. You are connected always to limitless light. And so see if you can just allow yourself to visualize you are part of a universal field of limitless light, always, always connected. So limitless light is pouring through you always. And what you are thinking is directing that limitless light into time and space. And so if you want to use an image with your fingers, if you're creating the energy of love, that limitless light is going to come through you in the form of limitless love. And I'm putting a heart in front of my face. And then everywhere that I look, guess what I'm going to see? Woo! That's love and freedom. That's divine love and freedom right there. If I am in myself, chasing myself with 100 pigeons and 20 ducks, I'm doing this. And I'm looking at time and space through this. And right now I'm kind of crisscrossing my fingers, and it's, sort of confusing looking through my own crisscrossed fingers. But that's what we do every time we chase ourselves with 100 pigeons. And so, have I been doing this? Have I been looking through my own confusion and my own fear and my own worry and my own anxiety? Or am I taking responsibility for calming and clearing my mind? I'm the only one who can do that. We receive the most incredible support through coming into contact with an illumined teacher, through having beings of light and radiance and kindness who are practicing the truth. I am the only one who can change my thinking. I am the only one who can say, I'm kind of tired of looking through this screen of confusion and illusion. I would much prefer love. So right now I choose to create this calm and this peace and this love. And then as soon as we do that, people are already making hearts back to me. Woo! Yes! I love it. Thank you. As soon as you do that, you're seeing love everywhere always. And then you're back to the innocence and the sweetness of the 4-year-old who's saying, I've never seen anything like this, and I love you. And that's what each of us is invited to do. We're invited to be, from our wise, adult, hard-earned wisdom perspective, keep that, and be that absolute open-hearted courage and strength that says everywhere, always, there is only joy, wonder, and adoring. There's only Batman. Just had to end that way. Thank God. And God bless us all.